Hey guys, it's up with Zobs here with another video, or Aubrey. So sorry I haven't made a video in for a while. I've just been insanely busy. So yeah. Okay, so my last video was a takeoff on the early 2000s, which this is part 2. So to continue, I begged my mom to take me to Limited Tube, and the point is I got this shirt that was insanely low cut and it crossed right across like your stomach. And it was like a cutout, so of course you had to wear a shirt under it, but the only reason I wanted it was because it was the same light blue that Vanessa wore in the first High School Musical, if you remember her like shirt that she wore. It was basically like that, only short sleeved and cut out, but I love that. Let's see, what else in the early 2000s? Disney Channel original movies were the thing. Like, if you didn't watch the new ones, you weren't considered like an early 2000s kid. Like, if you didn't watch the new ones, you were not considered like a cool person. The prime Disney queen in 2000s was probably either between Hilary Duff or Raven-Symoné, except, you know, Hillary was only our prime Disney queen from maybe like 2001 to 2004, I believe is when the movie came out. Liz McGuire was the big show. Raven, I believe, was a few years later and was on till 2007, if I'm thinking correctly. But you know, we got introduced to 6 new stars in the making in the early 2000s, which was Zac Efron, Vanessa Hudgens. At the time, she was Vanessa Ann Hudgens. If you guys remember that, you know what I'm talking about. Of course, Ashley Tisdale, Lucas Grabeel, Corbin Bleu, and Monique Coleman. You know, High School Musical came out, and that was the big thing. But Disney just wasn't the prime in 2000. Nick was also. We had shows like All That and The Amanda Show, Drink and Josh, iCarly was like 2007, so that's still early 2000s. And then we had some good movies come out like School of Rock and just really good movies. Also in the early 2000s, inflatable furniture was a thing. I mean, if you didn't have inflatable furniture, I mean, everyone had to have at least one piece of inflatable furniture. I think I might have had a chair for a little while, like an armchair for a little while. Diaries, especially those like voice activated diaries. If you guys remember those commercials, I was obsessed with those diaries. I didn't have one. I wanted one. I think the worst way, but like I said, I was very young in the early 2000s when January 2000 rolled around. I just turned 6, so I mean, that was like really big though. Like, I wanted a secret super diary, like in the worst way. I had diaries, but not like ones like that. Another big thing in the 2000s, even though she was in the 90s too, was Lisa Frank merchandise. If you guys don't know what Lisa Frank is, go search it. I love her designs. I have a box upstairs that was filled with Lisa Frank merchandise, and I just kept the box over the years. I was actually just watching a TikTok where a mother found a Lisa Frank inspired Barbie doll, like Barbie, and her kids are like, "What's Lisa Frank?" And she went to the school supplies aisle just to show her kids the Lisa Frank folders, which I didn't know they still had, which is amazing. Build-A-Bear was a big thing in the early 2000s for some odd reason. Like, Build-A-Bear has been around forever. all I remember is my aunt took my cousins to Build-A-Bear and she didn't take me, so I was upset. But then she took me and I got a bear. I named it Lola, and I believe the first costume I ever got for Lola was a little cheerleader outfit. And here's the reason why I named her Lola. When I was younger, I was obsessed with the movie Confessions of a Teenage Drama Queen. Lindsay Lohan was big in the early 2000s. She was just coming into her acting career. Even though Parent Trap was her first movie, that was in the 90s, but 2000s is really where they were starting to get her into more movies. And if you guys have ever seen Confessions of a Teenage Drama Queen, you know the whole Lola thing, and I was obsessed with that name, and so that's why I named my bear Lola. And then also in the 2000s, you had the dolls. You either had Polly Pocket, Betty Spaghetti, one of the Flying Dolls, Barbie, Bratz, any one of those. I had a bunch of Barbies. I had maybe 1 to 2 Bratz. Like, I think I maybe had one, like, Bratz doll and maybe one of the boyfriends. Never had Polly Pocket, never had Betty Spaghetti. Maybe I had one Polly Pocket, actually. And never had one of the Flying Dolls, but my cousin did have Betty Spaghetti and one of the Flying Dolls, I believe, and had plenty of Polly Pockets. I'm not a big fan of Barbies. They are a pain in the butt to dress. Bratz are much easier. 1, they're bigger, and 2, you can take the feet of the Bratz off. Guys, the Bratz feet would come off, so you could put their pants on easily and then reconnect the feet very easy. My favorite Barbie doll was probably either my Baby Spice Barbie doll. Yes, I did have a Baby Spice Barbie doll. But also I had 2 Ariel dolls and 1 Eric doll. But I wasn't a big fan of Barbies. Another big thing in the early 2000s, even though they're kind of more of a 90s thing, was the Spice Girls. I was obsessed with the Spice Girls, especially Baby Spice. She was and will forever be my favorite. Her real name is Emma, just for those of you who don't know that, and that makes it even better because I love the name Emma for some odd reason. I mean, it's not odd that I like it, it's a beautiful name if that's your name. But I just always love the name Emma. Other things in the early 2000s, I can't remember, I just thought of something else, but I forgot what it was. I think that's when I really started getting into the internet. When I was little, my mom would only let me play this one computer game she got for me when I was little, and it was like a computer game, like you would put the disc in. The Sims, that's what it is, The Sims. The Sims was one of like the big first computer games that everybody played. I didn't get The Sims, but me and my cousins had the original Sims game at my Nana's house, and we were the only ones who would play it, so we made our own respective families, and me and my cousins actually made my brother a girl when we created my family, just as like a joke, and it was just a joke. So like we made my brother a girl, and then we made her have like a boyfriend like the first thing, and they were all right sleeping in the same bed, and the bed was outside. This was the first Sims games, guys, so I'm talking about like the very first Sims that like ever came out. But that's where I really started getting into the internet and YouTube. I think the first time I ever checked out YouTube, it was like 2006. Also, Facebook wasn't a thing for younger audiences. It was MySpace. I didn't get my MySpace until I was 13, which technically I don't think you're supposed to have a MySpace until you're 13, but some people would lie about their age just to get on it. And then Facebook came along for like college students after a while, and then they started letting everybody on Facebook. I'm trying to think of other things in the early 2000s, but that's all I can really think of. So if you guys remember anything from the early 2000s, you can't comment down below, but definitely give this video a big thumbs up, and I'll talk to you guys later, alright? Peace out. Bye, guys.